Here's another interesting thought I randomly debated with myself. If ants can lift 10 times their own weight, how many would it take to lift you? At first, it sounds kind of silly. Ants are tiny and humans are huge compared to ants. But ants are insanely strong for their size, so this isn't just a question about strength, it's about coordination and teamwork. Could a bunch of ants get you off the ground? Let's get some numbers. The global average human weight is around 62 kilograms, or for you Americans, 137.6 pounds. And an average ant can weigh anywhere from 1 to 5 milligrams, depending on the species. Let's average it, giving us around 3 milligrams. And in regards to strength, ants can lift between 10 to 50 times their own body weight. And some species can carry in more, up to 100 times their own weight. That's like a human lifting a small car. Let's average it for now, giving the ants the capacity to lift around 50 times their own body weight. That's a lift capacity of around 150 milligrams. Now, ants don't exactly organize ropes, backpacks, or safety lines, so real world efficiency is way lower than the theoretical maximum. We'll come back to this later, but for now, let's assume that they try their best. Alright, let's do some rough math. If each ant can lift around 150 milligrams and the average human weighs 62 kilograms, which is 62 million milligrams, and then we do some simple division, we get around 413,334 ants. It's a mouthful. Minus zero point 0.6 of an ant, but I'm pretty sure 0.3 of an ant is a dead ant, so let's round up for now. So for an average human, we would need 413,334 ants in perfect conditions just to get you off the ground. But perfect teamwork doesn't exist in nature. If we adjust for coordination issues, uneven terrain, and grabbing the wrong spots, multiply by say 10. That goes up to 4,133,340 ants, considering for terrain variability and weather conditions. Now there's a small caveat here. We're diving into a bit of physics and honestly ant architecture. For now, we're sticking with the true number, 413,000 ants, to lift a 62 kilogram human. But here's the thing, that number assumes that all ants can push up straight vertically. The way you distribute the load matters. Imagine stacking 413,334 ants in a pyramid with a human on top. The ant at the very tip would be crushed under the force of around 608 newtons. No ant will survive that. So it's not just about the numbers, it's about shape. What would be the most efficient way to arrange millions of ants that could support a human? A pyramid clearly won't work. Maybe some sort of spread out platform, or a human hammock of ants. In whatever case, it would increase the amount of ants dramatically. The physics gets weird fast, and that's where theory meets impossibility. If you really wanted to support a human with that much ants, all I could imagine is, without having to get a degree in physics, would be a flat, wide, human-shaped platform, where the forces are shared equally among all the ants, and where each ant only has to lift a fraction of the human's weight. Even if this shape can be achieved by theory, by pure logic, distributing weight like that would require more than 413,000 ants, though, as I said earlier. Physics lesson over. So, what would be the preposterous aftermath of such an event? Well, in ideal conditions of 413,000 ants, where each ant weighs roughly 3 milligrams, it would rack up under a weight of, wait for it, 1.3 kilograms. Yes, 1.3 kilograms. Not much, but multiply it by 10 to account for weather conditions and terrain variability, you get 13 kilograms. Enough to live in a backpack. Keep in mind that the average amount of ants on Earth is around 20 quadrillion. That's 20 followed by 15 zeros. I think they can spare a couple million or so. So yeah, in theory, 413,334 ants could lift an average human if they were perfectly coordinated. But that's just the starting point. To account for terrain, coordination, and the fact that ants can't exactly perform a perfect, oh my god, I can't even pronounce perfect human-shaped form. You need millions more. Even then, the physics of distributing that weight safely makes it basically impossible. Still, wild to think that a tiny ant can carry 50 times their own body weight. Some things in life aren't scalable, even with millions of tiny friends trying their best. We'll call it science. See you in the next one.